So in this first section in chapter 11, what we're going to be doing is describing different data sets in two different ways. So the first thing we're going to have to be able to do is look at a data set and determine, is it categorical or is it numerical data? And then we're going to have to determine, is it univariate or bivariate? So categorical data, just highlight this here. Categorical data consists of labels and non-numerical data that can be separated into different categories. So when we think of categories like favorite food, favorite animal, favorite subject, favorite brand, favorite restaurant, whatever, all of those things are categories, okay? So if you're collecting data on something that's non-numerical or something that's separated into categories, then it's categorical. Whereas numerical data consists of numbers that represents counts or measurements. So if things can be measured or things can be counted, then it's going to be numerical, okay? Hours of sleep you get in a night, number of feet that you walk to whatever. Anything that can be measured or counted, that's going to be numerical. Now, univariate and bivariate. That's talking about the number of variables. That's where that variate comes from. Are we looking at one variable or are we looking at two different variables? So the univariate data measures one characteristic of a population. That prefix uni, that's one, right? Unicycle, one. So if there's only one variable we're collecting data about, then it's univariate data. We will have bivariate data if we are measuring two characteristics of a population. So if we're looking at two different variables, then it's bivariate. All right? So let's practice this. We've got 6 examples of all different types of data displays, and we're going to first determine, is it representing categorical or numerical data, and then is it univariate or bivariate? So the first thing we're looking at is a bar graph, and the data that we were collecting is the type of pets that people have. So if I'm collecting data on the type of pets, is that a category or is that numerical? It's categorical. Very good. And now, univariate or bivariate. So how many variables was I looking at? How many questions did I ask? Just one, right? What's your pet? What pet do you have? So it's univariate. Very good. So we are collecting data on a category and only asking one thing. What kind of pet do you have? So univariate. Number 2, we've got a scatter plot, and we are looking at the number of hours studied and the test score that you received. So is this data numerical or a category? Numerical. Number of hours, score on a test, that's all numbers. So this is numerical data that we are collecting here. And how many variables were there? 2. How many hours did you study? What was your test score? X and Y. We have 2 different variables here, so this is bivariate. We wanted to see how one of those compared to the other, right? So 2 variables, so bivariate. All right, number 3, our data display is a 2-way frequency table, and what we were collecting data on is working a summer job. You can see we asked juniors and seniors, so we had 2 different grade levels, and then do they have a summer job? Yes, or do they have a summer job? No. So would we say that this data is categorical or numerical? These numbers inside is the frequency of how many times that happened. But what we were asking was, what category do you fall into? Are you a junior or a senior? What category do you fall into? Do you have a summer job? Do you not? So this is going to be categorical. These values just tell me how many times that appeared. It doesn't make, we're not collecting numerical data. We're collecting categorical data. Okay, so categorical. And then, how many different variables were we looking at? 2. What grade are you in? And yes or no. Those are 2 different variables. So this would be bivariate as well. All right, number 4, we've got a box plot. You guys remember these from like 7th grade, I think, maybe? Okay, so this box plot is showing ages at the movie theaters. So is the data we're collecting numerical or categorical? Numerical. How old are you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are numbers. So we've got numerical value here. Numerical data. How old are you? And then were we looking at 1 variable or 2? 1. Just how old are you? So this would be univariate. All right, good. 2 more of these, and then we'll move on to the next part. So number 5, we've got this segmented bar graph. We are looking at performance on the end of course exam, but what we're looking at is Class A, Class B, Class C, and then are they advanced or are they proficient? So what we're looking at here is what kind of data? Categorical or numerical? Categorical. Do you fall in the category of Class A, Class B, or Class C? Not, did you get a 100? Like what score did you get? It's did Class A, Class B, Class C, and then did you get advanced or proficient? Which category do you fall in here? So this is categorical. And yes, there are 2 variables we're asking about because first variable is which class, second variable is which level. So this would be bivariate. And last but not least, we've got this pie chart. This pie chart is telling us what grade level these stats students are in. Are they freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior? So is that a category or is that numerical? Category. What category do you fall in? What grade level, right? So categorical. And then how many different variables were we looking at here? Just 1. What grade level are you in? That's it. So univariate. Okay. So that is practice on how, or the different types of data. Now we're going to move into the second part of this where we're going to specifically look at these two-way frequency tables. Two-way frequency tables are tables that display data collected from one source that belong to 2 different categories. Hence why it's called a two-way table, because we're looking at 2 different categories. One category of data is represented in the columns and the others in the row. So all you have to do with these frequency tables is be able to interpret them, read them, okay? So this first table, number 7, it says Lena surveys 150 high school freshmen and sophomores about their favorite type of pizza. Those are 2 categories. Are you a freshman or are you a sophomore? And then what's your favorite type of pizza? Bivariate, right? 2 categories. She records the results in the table shown. Here's the table. Letter A. How many freshmen chose sausage as their favorite type of pizza? So all you have to do is be able to read that table. How many freshmen chose sausage? 20. How many freshmen chose sausage? Right there. So that would be the answer for A. Then letter B, how many sophomores were surveyed? So I saw a lot of you just reach for your calculator because if I want to know how many sophomores total were surveyed, what do I need to do with these 4 values? Add them together because we don't know how many total, but we do know that 10 picked pepperoni, 28 picked cheese, 15 picked sausage, and 7 picked veggies. So all together, how many were surveyed? 60. And then the last question here, letter C, how many more freshmen and sophomores chose cheese pizza than veggie pizza? So again, this one requires a little bit of calculation because we want to know out of all the students, freshmen and sophomores, how many more chose pizza than veggie? How'd you get 34? Add the cheese, which would come to 53. And then, which is? Very good. And then we subtract them. How many more means subtraction? So 53 minus 19, that's how we get that 34. All right, number 8 is very similar, so it's just giving us one more chance to practice. This time, Maya surveys 150 freshmen about their favorite school subject. She records the results in the table shown. So she broke it down by who answered the question, a boy or a girl, and then their favorite subject. So that's how she still has her 2 variables, even though they're all the same grade level. That's how she broke it up. So how many girls said math was their favorite? Girls, math, right there, 22, very good. Letter B, how many students surveyed were boys? So that's again where you have to take these 4 values, add them together. I'm going to have y'all tell me one more time after I write this down. 20 plus the 18 plus 25 plus 10, you said was what? 77? 73. Careful. All right, 73 boys were surveyed. And then last but not least, letter C, how many more students chose English as their favorite subject than history? So again, very similar to the last one. Well, we need to figure out how many picked English. Anybody? 49. And then how many picked history? 21. So now we need to find the difference of that. 49 minus 21. 28. Easy, right? Very good. Bless you.